I'm your brother Jethro,
And I'm your sister Imogen.
and welcome back to your
The podcast.
the podcast, your brother and sister podcast. Imogen,
Jethro,
what is something that's happened in the last 24 hours that no one would know unless you told them?
I knew you were going to ask me that question on my drive back here from my dance class this morning, and I had nothing to say, so I asked Siri to tell me a joke. And I'm so going to botch it because I think I've forgotten it, but it was something like, I don't recommend catnapping because you can only do it for a short while before the owner wants their cat back. But I didn't say it was a good joke.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I've never actually heard that one before.
Yeah, it's not very funny.
There you go.
Jethro, what's something that's happened in the last 24 hours that we wouldn't know unless you told us?
Oh, I gave, I paid about $6 of cash in 20-cent coins to the cashier down the road. And the whole time I was just apologizing. I rocked up and I was like,
wow.
I'm sorry, I'm about to do this to you. And I just had a handful of change. I was just in my car.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Did you at least count it out for them, or did you
did.
just hand them the money and they had to count it out again?
No, I wouldn't do that. So I was
Okay.
in the car beforehand and I was getting them. I was like, all right, that's $1, and I would make a stack of it, and then I'd put the stack in my hand.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I was like, all right, that's $1, $2, and I just kind of did that. But
What did you buy?
I just bought a drink, and it was $6 or $5.50 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And
You got rid of all your loose change.
yeah.
Cool.
But working in retail and everything, I was like, I don't want to be that person, but I'm going to be that person
You're
today.
the other person. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was apologising. He was laughing. He said it was fine. So, Imogen, would you like to light the conversation candle for today's podcast? There you go. First go. Well done.
I love that you look over and you're just
I know. It's
kind
all
of
intriguing
judging.
to me. Yeah. Alrighty. Today's topic, being left on red.
Oh my gosh.
Something that's probably happened to everyone, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. And
Or you've done it to people.
maybe you're the person that's doing it.
In which case, I want to know why.
Why?
Jethro,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on being left on red?
I get it if it's the end of the conversation, oh, goodbye, and you leave that on red or something along that. When the
Like you
conversation's
don't
wrapped
react
up,
to that message or anything.
yeah, and it's okay, the conversation is now done. Fine, makes sense. You got to leave it at some point. I get it if maybe they're at work and then reply later that day. But again, I would just be hey, I'm at work. I'll reply to this later and give them a heads up.
Have you ever left someone on red?
No, I can't do it. I feel so bad. I have to be the last person to send something. Even if it's just emojis or something, I'm yeah.
That could just go back and forth forever though.
It has. I think there are some people that are like me that I talk to and
It's
they're
you have to be the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world if people do it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it because quickly working in real estate and with dad and just communicate, basic communication, just letting people know where you're at. Hey, busy, I'll get back to this later. Hey, I've seen it. Just give me a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Or don't look at it
Yeah.
if you can't respond straight away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I come from. I'm just kind of used to being that's a message. I have to respond to
Super clear
it.
and super communicative.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
take care of it and just kind of level the playing field, if that makes sense. Hey, we're on the same page here. Because if you leave someone red, then it's are they going to respond? And then sometimes they do, but they respond a day later. And it's what have you been doing for a day? What? So, Imogen, how do you feel about getting left on red?
When I'm left on red, it depends on the person. It depends on the conversation, I guess. It's so much easier to leave somebody on red, quote marks, over text where there is no tag that says, this person has seen it or anything like that. So with text message, I'll sometimes read a text message and just be okay, yeah, cool, that's the end of the conversation. And I won't like it or anything. So maybe that's kind of technically leaving them on red. But like on something like Instagram or Facebook Messenger, where you can see, it's like, yeah, I have actually, this is going to sound kind of, I don't like being left on red, but I've been actually practicing leaving people on red lately.
You've been practicing it. What's that?
Like if somebody sends me a message and I don't know, I don't think it deserves a response, or I don't think it needs a response, and it's not like heart worthy or thumbs up worthy, I'll just be like, okay, cool. And I'll just like leave it. It's so hard for me to do though, because yeah, and I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe it's just because I'm practicing uncomfortability, but yeah, that's something I've been doing lately.
Could it be like a boundary thing as well?
Sometimes it is a boundary thing. Like if a guy sends me a reel or something that I just think isn't quite appropriate, I won't say anything, or I won't.
That's where I've been going wrong. Inappropriate reel. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I also get like some people are like, okay, I'll respond to kind of things at the end of the day, or
Yeah.
if it's not, I'm not going to engage in it if it's not going to be not worth it. But as you're trying, like as you're saying, like just like a boundary thing.
Yeah. Now, there are people though. There are people that we've both encountered, and
And these are the people that we're like kind of like talking about now when it's getting left on red.
Yeah.
It's not about, yeah.
yeah, it's
So-
not us doing it. It's people doing it to us, and we're not quite sure why or like what goes through their minds. So there are these people who will open up a message and read it and just not respond for like 12 hours, and then they'll respond like no time has passed. But you can see that they've read the message, and it's like, why couldn't you just send a response then? And it's so, I'm like, what goes through their mind?
Because it's not getting, technically they're not leaving you on red. It's just a prolonged response.
Yeah. But also, how do you remember to reply? Because for me, I'd totally forget.
Yeah.
Like I would totally forget.
Well, it goes back to that thing of we have both worked in real estate in the past. And it's like if something comes in,
You action it then and there, or you make a note of it.
because you will forget it.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't end well.
Yeah.
So when people do that, I mean, I haven't experienced that when someone's like left me on red and then responded to it like hours and hours, like the next day. I've been left on red, which I get.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
They might have just been like, okay, that was just whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's that, which is like you couldn't just respond.
And
like,
I guess what I'm gonna try, and like what I have been trying to do with those people that that just leave it for hours before they respond, I'm trying to think, okay, well, they've got a busy life, or they're doing something, or they've just checked it in work, and they'll respond later. But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I don't understand why you can't just like respond there and then, or leave the message for the 6 to 12 hours or however long without actually opening it up, and then open it up and respond when you're ready.
So we're just more curious than anything.
Yeah.
Like we just
Like how does
don't
it work?
get
What
it.
goes through your mind?
Yeah. So if you are one of those people, let us know, please.
Yeah.
We want to know.
And do you do that thing where you open it up? So Facebook Messenger does this, Instagram doesn't, because I've tried on Insta and it doesn't work. But Facebook Messenger, you can actually like press and hold on the conversation when it's bolded, like you haven't opened it up yet. And it pops up with like a preview of what the message says. So what I will do is if I want to know what the message is about, I'll do the press and hold and like read what the message says and be like, I really don't want to deal with this right now, and I'll just leave it. But it doesn't actually show that you've read it because you haven't actually gone into the chat. You haven't opened it.
Because I do that.
Oh, you press and hold, see?
Yeah.
And then you don't go into the chat?
Yeah. If I don't want to respond to it, then I'll just come back to it on a.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm not leaving them on red technically.
No, they haven't seen that you've opened it.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can actually go into the chat and read it, and it'll come up with the tag saying like, this person has seen your message. And if you go back out, you can also press and hold and click mark as unread. But I have tested this with my girlfriend's people. The other person still has the tag saying that it's been seen. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll go in and read it, and then I'll go out and like kind of unread it, like you can do in like an email setting or something, that doesn't take it away from the other person's side. So they still think that you've left them on red, even though you're going to come back to it later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do the just pop it up and have a quick look and be like, nah, I don't want to respond. Or, yeah, I do want to respond right now.
There's so many different ways to go about, depending on like what platform you're messaging on as well.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want to be like hypocritical, but I do that thing where like a preview, or if it's a text, I'll see and be like, I will just respond to that later and not even touch it.
Yeah.
So when I go back to my phone, it's like still there. The notification is still there.
Because you could be busy or you could be doing something else or in the middle of something, or that response requires a lot more thought, which I totally get when people, I mean, that's probably what they're doing.
Yeah,
when
they're probably just doing that. Yeah.
So, yeah. Next level though. Next level. So there's
There's levels to this.
Okay. So that's the whole like left it on red message, like respond later thing. But, okay. I've been talking with this person and I sent a message and they'll see the message and then they'll respond like a day or two later, which is fine. That's the person, that's whatever. But the last time that we corresponded, they didn't even reply back. But so, I don't know, let's say they opened the message on Saturday. They didn't, so they saw it on Saturday. They didn't respond. They didn't do anything. They left me on red until like, let's say it was Sunday night, so about a day and a half later, and then they liked the message. They didn't even respond. There was no text back or anything. They just liked the message. It took them a day and a half to double tap the screen. I don't understand that.
That's insane. That is literally insane.
Like, what's going through their mind with that?
Firstly, I love that because that is so funny to me. To like a message, it's the quickest thing. I feel like it was made to, like, the whole point is to, I can't respond to this, or I don't want us to respond to this. I'll just acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And then just leave it at that.
Exactly.
It's literally boom, boom, done.
Yeah.
But to leave you on red and then go back a day and a half later and then just like it and not leave a message or anything.
Yeah.
That I've never heard or experienced that before.
I would really like to know what was going through that person's mind. Like,
you have to ask next time you see them, be like, yo.
Why?
We want answers.
It's just, I'm not like, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's a neutral thing. I'm just really curious.
What the thought process was to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would anyone listening to this or watching this, would anyone do that? Like, see a message and then react to it like a day and a half later? I don't think many people would do that.
Instead of reacting in the moment.
Yeah. Because a lot of people do that to finish like a conversation. It's like a
full stop to me when I'm coming to the end of a conversation.
Yeah.
And I'll double tap and like the message. It's a great, we're done, cool beans kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just leave it at that. But to go back, if and when you do ask them that and you get an answer, we have to kind of bring that into the podcast. And
I might be seeing that person tonight, so I might ask tonight. But like,
okay, do some
do I bring it up
for us.
just like out of the blue? And kind of be like, so what is the deal with this?
I think you're insane.
Like, I'm so curious.
What's wrong with
Should I actually say that? Be like, I just don't understand you. Like, tell me why.
What was the thought process behind this? You can be like, I've never experienced anyone that does that before. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what was your thought process behind that?
Yeah. Okay, I will. I'll just be like,
because I'm so curious
super
about
out
that.
there, curiously Imogen.
Yeah, because that's
weird.
That
to
is
me.
next level.
Yeah. Okay. In what context would you leave someone on red without any response at all?
If it was just like if I've said something and they've just done like a haha, yeah. One of those messages where it's just like they haven't given it back, if that makes sense.
Like literally HAHA space YEAH.
Yeah.
You just like.
One of those messages where it's like I've said something.
There's like no sentiment behind it. There's no feeling behind it.
Yeah.
It's not just, a haha, yeah. It's like a haha, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's one of, if it's one of those messages where it's just like very dry, short, and because then I feel like they're just not into it, so I won't keep pushing it. So I'll either like it and
See, that's where I do a thumbs up. I don't do a heart because I don't think I could leave that on red.
I'll like it, but I won't respond to it and keep the conversation going.
Oh, no, I'm saying so no reaction at all, like no liking it, no thumbs up, nothing.
Not even a reaction to it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you would still heart.
I'd still heart that
Okay.
and be like, okay, cool, I get it. We're done.
Is there any context or situation in which you would just be like, I'm not even going to double tap that? I'm going to take that as a no.
No, I think even if I say like, if I've been talking to someone and it's the end of the night, I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed, like good night. And they say, if they say good night, no, I'll probably like that too. So.
I mean, I know when I've talked to like people or friends at night and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed now. I wait for their message to come back through to wish me like a good night as well. And then I heart that and then I leave the chat.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So no, the chances are
You'll always respond in some way.
Yeah. If I have left you on red, I don't remember if I have, but I think I always like or respond to the interactions.
Interesting.
How about you? Well, you've been practicing it. And,
Well, yeah, kind of like a boundary thing, I guess. If I was uncomfortable with something that was said or it just didn't really deserve a reaction or something. But I've been practicing the whole like what you said, how sometimes you send an emoji back and then that could just go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, everybody trying to be the last person to so they wouldn't have to leave someone on red or something.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, there have been times where somebody has sent me I've sent somebody a message, like, and that's the end of the chat, and I'm the one who like finished with the message, and they like the message, and then I have this instinct to go and like their like of it, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know how like, you know, so the other person is like double tap my message and been like, yep, that's cool. And then I see that it says, you know, XYZ has liked your message and I want to go and like it and I can't do it. And so, yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, just boundaries, I guess.
Do you like people's emojis? If someone sent you like 2 thumbs up or 2 laughing emojis in response to something, would you like those emojis? No.
No, I don't like emojis. Do you?
I have.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm like.
maybe you should start practicing your boundaries, your you know, kind of weaning yourself off the addiction of liking things.
Because I just want, I think, because I kind of got social media when I was grade 9, 15 years old. And I just wanted to make people...
Sorry, as the older sister here right now, I didn't get social media until like grade 12 when I was like, Mum, Dad, my friends are doing stuff without me because they all sorted out on social media. And it was literally like grade 12 that I got social media.
So the takeaway from this is be the younger sibling.
Because you'll get everything sooner.
That is true.
Continue with what you were going to say.
So I think I just wanted people to, and I still want people to feel like I'm...
So it's like a validation kind of thing.
I think like, hey, I'm listening to you. Like, hey, I've acknowledged you. Because in a conversation, I want them to feel like in person, I'd want them to feel like I'm engaged with them and be like, yeah, like, you know. And so if someone
instead of doing what I'm doing right now, which is staring at Jethro deadpan and not giving him anything.
Yeah,
no.
Which is like, oh. But like in a conversation, if someone laughs, you usually laugh with them like, haha, I've told a joke, they laugh. Like, oh yeah, and you have a moment. So me interacting... It makes me so uncomfortable when you do that.
In my head, I'm going, yeah. My brain is doing all the interactions with you, but the rest of me is just like, don't laugh.
And so in my world, reacting to like, oh, they think that's funny. I'm like tagging into it and being like, yeah, like
it's showing that you're actually listening or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't like getting left on red and all that. So I feel like I'm overcompensating kind of.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at me. I'm trying to do it and I just can't. Okay, I'm blinking. Staring competition.
So yeah, maybe it is a validation thing, and I got to kind of work on my
Let people know that you're paying attention. But
yeah.
does that come at a cost to you at all? Do you think?
I no,
I
like
don't think so. I think it's nice for the other person.
yeah, like when I do it, like if I respond to it, like in my mind, if they've gotten the notification, oh, they liked your message, it's like cool, they've like
Yeah.
seen it, responded, conversation's done or whatever.
Do you feel like, and we'll make this the last question and wrap it up, but do you feel like you react in a certain way when somebody leaves you on red? Because for personally, I used to, I don't know, I think I used to feel a bit like, oh, they left me on red kind of thing, and feel a bit like, I don't know, if it was somebody that I wanted to talk to, I'd always check the message and see if they've like seen it yet or not. And then when they had it, it would be like, oh, they've just left me on red. They haven't even like responded. But now I really couldn't care less. Actually, it's curiosity more than anything. It's not an emotional response.
No, yeah, I'm the same now. Don't care emotionally or whatever. It's just okay, cool. They weren't into it, or they just didn't want to keep the conversation going. So cool, respect it, fine. But if it's in a group chat, that's different.
Also,
Being in
I'm about to sneeze, just letting you know.
let it rip whenever it comes. Bless you.
Thank you.
I think maybe in the early years that I had social media, if I messaged the group and it was the last one and no one in the whole group left me on red,
Yeah, that kind of hurts, hey?
that hurts. That hurts in a different way because it's
Yeah.
not like no one, like none of my friends are even gonna be like react to it.
Yeah.
So I stopped messaging like group chats now. That's why I'm like, I'm that person that doesn't say anything because I'm scared of like getting left on red
I mean,
in a group chat.
I feel that too, especially if it's like not just a message in passing or like a conversation that's moving in the group chat, but like, hey guys, I'm going to go do this. Does anyone want to come? And like nobody responds. Or hey guys, this happened to me today. I'm feeling a bit whatever. I don't know. Depends on kind of the context of the group chat. But yeah, when nobody responds, it's kind of like, or reacts to it, it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
does anybody care?
Yeah. Because it's one-on-one, then it's like, cool, that's that person's
Yeah.
own thing.
They're busy.
But in a group chat, aren't we all friends? You can't. And I think that's why I like and respond to messages so much because I don't like it I don't like that feeling personally when no one's like
Yeah.
in a group chat. So
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of like overlaps a little bit when it
That's
comes
interesting. That brings up something that I think we could talk about in the future, which is like, what do you do that you want other people to do for you? Because there are a lot of things that I do for other people that I would want people to do for me, and people don't do it for me, so that's why I do it for other people. But it's interesting that like not everybody thinks the same way. Not everybody has the same values or standards as like when it comes to responding and being on red and stuff as you. So yeah,
Yeah.
it really like you honestly can't take it personally because maybe they don't, they probably don't even think twice about it.
Yeah, it's just like having a conversation with anyone. Some people, it might be a bit more of like a effort to keep the conversation going, and other people are like this. Imogen's just staring at me, by the way, very nonchalantly, very deadpan.
I'm trying so hard not to smile, but I can feel like my facial muscles just like, like don't laugh.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
just like, I just imagine it, in a real world setting, if they were reacting like Imogen's just staring at me now, very deadpan, it's like, okay, cool. They don't want to keep the conversation going. That's fine. But I feel like going, and it just depends on the person.
I really wanted to yawn just then and throw you off, but I didn't have a yawn.
There you go.
Anyway.
All right, we got to wrap it up. I got to go. I got places to be.
Movie to go see. What movie are you going to go see?
Five Nights at Freddy's with my friend.
Is that a scary movie?
I think so.
Oh, I thought you didn't like scary movies.
I don't, but when it's with people or friends, and when I go see them with friends, it's always funny. So
I really hope that your mate like jump scares you or something in the middle of the movie. He probably would.
I've only seen a handful of scary movies before because, I don't like watching them like
Yeah.
for my own enjoyment. Like I wouldn't put one on for myself. But if the group's like, oh, we're going to go see this, I'll go along because it's funny.
Yeah.
My friend, like I have a friend I'm going to see this movie
You have a
with.
friend? That's
I
so
do.
good, Jethro. Aw, Jethro has a friend.
I have a friend that in the silence, tense moments before the jump scare will just turn and scare the. And I remember once I did that and I actually was like, oh. And everyone was just silent. I was like, it was just, yeah.
Oh.
So going with friends for me
Yeah.
makes it enjoyable because
Yeah.
you can laugh about it and it's kind of more fun when you have people.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun movie. But no, I wouldn't put that on or go see it like for myself or by myself.
Yeah.
So
That would be awesome. There's this really, really quick story. Back in school, we were watching the Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one with Leonardo DiCaprio and the other chick in it. And there was this moment, it was like a really intense scene. I think it was when it was at the end and they were about to like take the poison or stab themselves or something or whatever they did in that movie. And the music was really intense and everyone was like so invested in it and just like, oh my gosh, this is like the really intense point. And this guy just goes, ah, choo. And he like lets out the biggest sneeze. Everybody in the classroom jumps and then we all just like burst out laughing. It was the funniest thing. So every time I watch like a suspenseful movie now and I hear that kind of like silence building up and the tension's increasing, I'm like, somebody needs to sneeze right now.
yeah.
It will happen one day where I get to sneeze at that exact moment, but
Yeah.
it just makes everybody like scared and then laugh. And I think that'd be so good in a cinema full of strangers too in a scary movie.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy your movie.
Thank you.
Cool.
Hopefully I enjoy it too.
We'll catch you in the next episode.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
everybody.
listening.
Bye.
Bye.